All right, let's dive into the ninja world, folks. We're talking Naruto, and specifically those early chapters, 1 through 33.
I gotta say, even from the get-go, there's a lot more going on than just throwing shuriken and doing shadow clones.
Oh yeah, from the very beginning, Masashi Kishimoto, the guy who created Naruto, sets up some seriously deep themes. It's not just, hey, ninjas are cool. It's like this is their world, their history, and it all matters.
Right. Like, take that nine-tailed fox attack on the Hidden Leaf Village.
Yeah.
That's not just a random monster showing up. It's like this huge event that shapes everything that comes after.
Absolutely. And then you've got the fourth Hokage sacrificing himself to seal the Nine Tails inside Naruto. It's heroic, sure, but it's also a huge political move that has all these crazy consequences down the line. Makes you think about power, sacrifice, the burden this one kid has to carry for the good of the village. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there for sure. And then there's Naruto himself, this mischievous kid everyone treats like an outcast because of, the whole monster inside thing. But he's still got this big dream, right? He wants to be Hokage, the leader, the guy everyone respects.
It's a brilliant setup for his character arc. Think about it. He's the Jinchuriki, the outcast, and he wants the one position that represents acceptance and authority. It's a powerful contrast, and it makes all his struggles, like failing basic ninja techniques and barely graduating, hit even harder.
Totally. But then you have that scene with Iruka, his teacher. Iruka sees past the Nine Tails, past all the pranks, and actually recognizes Naruto's potential. It's kind of a turning point.
That scene is super important for a bunch of reasons. First, it ties Iruka's own past trauma to Naruto's experience, so there's this connection right away. And second, it shows how much a mentor can matter, How one person can break through all that hate and prejudice. It's like this counterbalance to all the rejection Naruto's faced his whole life.
And it just makes you root for him, Even when he's tripping over his own shadow clones. Literally.
Speaking of shadow clones, that multiple shadow clone technique he does, it's not just a cool power move. It's foreshadowing, showing us how much chakra Naruto actually has thanks to the Nine Tails.
Wow, so even his signature move is tied to his burden. Pretty heavy stuff for a kid who just wants to eat ramen and become Hokage. But hey, It's not all serious, right? There are some funny moments in those early chapters.
Oh, for sure. Like when Naruto messes up his ninja registration photo or that whole rivalry he has with Konohamaru, the Hokage's grandson. It's a nice reminder that even in a world of ninjas, there's still room for some laughs and good-natured competition.
Yeah, Konohamaru. He's like a mini Naruto. They're the same Hoka's dream. Makes you wonder if they'll end up as rivals or friends down the line.
It's a great parallel. Konohamaru, even though he's the Hokage's grandson, wants to prove himself in a different way. He sees something in Naruto, this unyielding spirit that maybe he wants to emulate.
And then, bam, we get the introduction of Team 7. Naruto's paired up with Sakura, who's, well, let's face it, totally crushing on their other teammate, Sasuke Uchiha.
And Sasuke, right from the start, brings a whole other layer of complexity. He's the super talented, brooding type, carrying this dark secret. His entire clan was murdered. That thirst for revenge, it drives him, sets him apart from Naruto in a big way.
Yeah, right off the bat, you've got this clash of personalities, different goals. Naruto's loud, wants everyone to like him. Sasuke's quiet, consumed by revenge. And Sakura's stuck in the middle, at least at first, drawn to Sasuke's mysterious aura.
It's not just for show, that dynamic. It sets the stage for all their relationships, the conflicts that drive the story forward, and then you have their teacher, Kakashi Hatake. He's the genin who's supposed to guide them, the copy ninja.
Ah, Kakashi. The sharing in, the laid-back attitude, always with his nose in those interesting books. Is he just there for comic relief, or is there more to him?
Kakashi's a lot deeper than he seems. I mean, that Sharingan of his is powerful. But it also points to a pretty messed up past we'll learn about later. More importantly, though, he's not your typical ninja. He focuses on teamwork, compassion, and sometimes even breaking the rules if it's for the right reasons.
Sounds like he'll be shaking things up. And what better way to do that than with his infamous bell test?
That bell test is brilliant. It exposes all their weaknesses. Naruto's impulsiveness, Sakura relying too much on Sasuke thinking he can do everything alone. But through failing, Kakashi teaches them something important. The mission and their teammates come first, above everything else.
He makes that super clear with that quote about breaking the rules versus abandoning your friends, right? It's like his teaching philosophy summed up in one line.
Totally. And it lays the foundation for how Naruto grows as a ninja. He's constantly challenging the idea that ninjas have to be emotionless tools.
Okay, so they passed the test. They're a real team now. But then it's time for their first mission, escorting this bridge builder to the land of waves. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
Ah, the Land of Waves arc. That's where things get real. It's a shift from training exercises to, like, the real deal. And that's when Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist, shows up. Talk about a game changer.
Zabuza, with that huge sword and that serious look in his eyes.
Yeah.
He's a whole different level of threat, isn't he?
Totally different. He's a missing nin, a rogue ninja who betrayed his own village. And he represents all the dangers out there beyond the Hidden Leaf Village, where things are morally gray and survival often means doing some pretty ruthless things.
And that first encounter when he, like, cuts Kakashi in half.
Yeah.
Talk about a way to raise the stakes.
It's a shock, for sure, both for Team 7 and for anyone reading it. But it also shows us how skilled Kakashi is. He uses the body replacement technique to survive, reminding us that in the ninja world, you can't always trust what you see.
It's like Kishimoto's telling us to expect the unexpected. But this is just the beginning, right?
Oh yeah, the Land of Waves arc is full of twists and turns. It's a trial by fire for Team 7, forcing them to face their weaknesses and learn to rely on each other to survive. And it's where we see Naruto's own ninja way starting to take shape, challenging the traditional way of doing things and embracing compassion and empathy.
Sounds like things are about to get interesting. We're going to see Naruto face some serious challenges, learn some tough lessons, and figure out what being a ninja really means. Buckle up because we're just getting started.
And what about you listening? What do you think will be Naruto's biggest challenge moving forward? Mastering his crazy powers, overcoming all the prejudice against him, or staying true to his values in a world that often rewards being ruthless? Think about that as we dive deeper into the Land of Waves arc.
Okay, so last we left our heroes, they were facing off against Zabuza Momochi. This guy, this missing menin, he's not messing around. So what happens next in this ninja showdown?
Well, this fight with Zabuza, it's more than just people throwing around fancy jujitsu. It's like a strategy battle, and Kakashi has to use all his smarts to survive.
Yeah, he's using his Sharingan like crazy, analyzing Zabuza's every move, predicting attacks, even copying some of his techniques. It's intense.
It is, and that Sharingan, that's not just for show, right? It's passed down through Sasuke's family, the Uchiha clan. It's a powerful ability, but it also represents this whole legacy, this thing that connects Sasuke to his past, but also kind of sets him apart from his teammates.
Wow, yeah, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
But while Kakashi's holding his own, Naruto and Sasuke, well, they're still learning the ropes, right?
True, they're not exactly seasoned ninjas yet, but you can see their potential even when they mess up. Like, remember when Naruto uses his shadow clones to distract Zabuza? Classic Naruto move. But this time, it lets Sasuke get close enough to launch a surprise attack with a transformed shuriken.
Yeah. It's pretty clever, especially since Sasuke's still getting used to his own Sharingan powers. It shows how their teamwork, even if it's a little rough around the edges, can actually work against a tough opponent like Zabuza.
Exactly. It hints at how well they could work together, you know? Their different personalities and fighting styles, they could really complement each other if they learned to cooperate.
But then, just when you think Kakashi's got Zabuza on the ropes, this new guy appears out of nowhere and boom, Zabuza's down. It's Haku, right?
Yep. Haku enters the scene. Classic Kishimoto move right there.
Yeah.
Throws everyone for a loop and leaves us with a bunch of questions. Who is this masked ninja? What's his deal? And what's his connection to Zabuza?
It's like, whoa, hold on, things just got a lot more complicated. But it also gives us a little break from the fighting to focus on, like, character development and training, you know? Remember that scene where Kakashi makes them practice walking up trees?
Oh yeah, that training scene is important. It introduces this whole concept of chakra control, which is like Ninja 101. It's not all about brute force. It's about finesse, being precise, learning to use your energy effectively.
And it shows us how much Naruto struggles with that, right? He's got tons of chakra thanks to the Nine Tails.
Yeah.
But controlling it, that's a whole other beast.
Yeah, it reminds us that Naruto's journey is going to be tough. He'll have to work harder than anyone else to master his abilities. But it's not all about training and techniques, is it? The Land of Waves arc also shows us how conflict affects, like, regular people.
Right, like Inari, Tezuna's grandson. His story is so sad. He lost his father figure, Kaiza, to this tyrant, Gachu, and now he doesn't believe in heroes anymore.
It's heartbreaking, and it really reflects the despair that hangs over the Land of Waves because of Gachu's rule. It reminds us that these ninja battles, they have real consequences. They affect everyone, not just the ninjas fighting.
It's like war never has a happy ending for anyone, right?
Exactly. And through Inari, Naruto faces a different kind of challenge. Can he bring hope back to a place crushed by fear and oppression? Can he show Inari that heroes still exist?
Ooh, that's a good question. And then, bam, we're back in the action with the rematch on the bridge. Zabuza's back, and now he's got Haku fighting alongside him. Things are about to get serious.
This rematch is one of the most visually stunning and emotionally intense fights in early Naruto. It's a clash of styles, personalities, and in the end, it's about loyalty and sacrifice.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Sasuke gets trapped in Haku's demonic mirroring ice crystals. He's fighting against 1,000 copies of himself. It's insane.
Yeah, those ice mirrors, they're not just cool visuals, they symbolize Sasuke's internal struggle. He's isolated, but he also wants to connect with his teammates. He craves power, but it comes at a cost. This fight forces him to face his own limitations and think about what he's willing to sacrifice.
And then you have Naruto, seeing Sasuke in trouble, pushing himself further than ever before. He taps into the Nine-Tails chakra, and we get that awesome image of him with the fox's chakra cloak. So cool.
It's a huge moment for Naruto. It shows us the raw power he has inside him, but it also hints at the danger of losing control, of letting the Nine-Tails rage take over. It foreshadows the struggle he's going to have with this power throughout the series.
It's like with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Right. And amidst all the action, we get these glimpses into Haku's past, his tragic backstory. We learn about his connection with Zabuza and how they ended up together.
Yeah, Haku's story is so heartbreaking. He was orphaned, trained to be a weapon, never had a chance at a normal life. You can see why he's so loyal to Zabuza. Zabuza gave him a purpose, acknowledged him in a way no one else did.
It makes you think, can someone who is raised to be a weapon ever truly be free? Is loyalty enough to justify doing things that hurt others?
Man, those are some tough questions.
Yeah.
And Naruto, he's still figuring things out, but you can see he's struggling with these ideas of good and evil. You see the pain Haku's carrying, and it challenges his whole worldview. And then, oh man, Sasuke looks like he sacrifices himself to save Naruto. And that just unleashes something in Naruto, pushing him even deeper into the Nine-Tails chakra.
That moment, that supposed sacrifice, it's huge for both of them. For Sasuke, it's like this unconscious act of protection, a hint of the connection he's been pushing away. And for Naruto, it's a trigger. He's fueled by this desperate need to protect his teammate, his rival, his friend.
It's like, even though they don't always say it, their bond is so strong, it literally unlocks new power in Naruto. So powerful. But what about Haku? What's going on with him in all of this?
Well, Haku, even though he's a trained weapon, he can't bring himself to kill Sasuke. He sees himself as broken, unworthy of a normal life. He actually asks Naruto to end his suffering.
Oh, man, that's so sad. It shows just how messed up things are in this world, how it twists people's lives. And Naruto, he's forced to think about taking a life, even if it's in battle.
It's a heavy burden, but before Naruto has to make that choice, fate steps in. Haku senses that Zabuza's in danger and rushes to protect him. He takes the full force of Kakashi's lightning cutter. It's a selfless act that shows us his true feelings, his deep need to protect the one person who gave him a reason to exist.
That scene, man, it gets me every time. Haku's death, it changes everything, not just for Naruto, but for Zabuza too.
Absolutely. Zabuza, who we thought was this emotionless, hardened ninja, he's completely shaken by Haku's death. It's like we see his heart for the first time, this deep bond he had with Haku. It's really powerful.
And then, just when you think things can't get any worse, Gachu shows up. This greedy jerk. He thinks he's won, and he's ready to get rid of Zabuza, who's now injured and vulnerable.
Gachu represents everything that's wrong with the ninja world. Greed, exploitation, no respect for human life. He's the opposite of everything Naruto stands for.
And Zabuza, even though his arms are useless, he charges at Gachu. He's got to avenge Haku, right? Yeah. And atone for all the bad things he's done in his life. And it's such a powerful moment of redemption.
It really is. Zabuza's death, alongside Haku, it's both tragic and kind of hopeful. It reminds us that even people who've done terrible things can find redemption through sacrifice and love. And for Naruto, it's another lesson learned. It strengthens his resolve to find his own ninja way, one that includes compassion and challenges that traditional view of ninjas as just tools.
So much to think about. It's like Kishimoto saying there's always hope, even in the darkest times. There's always room for change, for choosing the right path, even if it's hard.
Exactly. And as Team 7 gets ready to leave the Land of Waves, they see the bridge they helped build, the one named after Naruto. It's a symbol of everything they accomplished, a sign of hope for the future.
The Great Naruto Bridge. That's got to be a proud moment. They didn't just finish their mission, they helped spark a revolution. Pretty impressive for a bunch of genin, right?
It really is. It shows us that even ordinary people can make a difference. They can inspire change, challenge the way things are, and fight for a better world. It's a reminder that being a ninja is more than just learning cool techniques. It's about facing difficult choices, fighting your own demons and figuring out what you believe in and what you're willing to stand for.
Wow, that's deep. But this is only the beginning of Naruto's journey, right?
Right.
What's waiting for him back in the Hidden Leaf Village? What new challenges will he have to face?
That's what we'll explore in the final part of our deep dive. But before we move on, what stuck with you the most about this arc? Was it the power of friendship, the fight against oppression, or maybe those tough moral questions? Think about that as we wrap things up.
So Team 7, they're heading home after all that, back to the Hidden Leaf Village. But after such a heavy mission, what kind of welcome are they walking into?
Well, it's not just about going back to a place they know. It's like they're stepping back into a world that might not get all the lessons Naruto's learned, The Hidden Leaf Village. That's where he faced so much prejudice and loneliness. Now he's coming back with this new purpose, his own idea of what it means to be a ninja. That might ruffle some feathers.
Makes sense. He's not just a student anymore either, right? He's a genin who's seen real combat, life or death stuff. That changes a person.
Big time. And those experiences, they've changed his thinking. He's more aware now of how complicated the ninja world is. He sees how power without compassion can wreck things, and how loyalty can pop up in the most unexpected places.
Oh, and we can't forget about that bridge named after him. The Great Naruto Bridge. That's a lasting reminder of what he did for the Land of Waves. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it's more than just a bridge, right? It's like proof of what Naruto can do. He inspired people, brought hope to a place that desperately needed it.
But it makes you wonder, he's a hero in the Land of Waves, but back home, he's still that kid with the nine tails. How's that going to play out?
That's the thing. Recognition, acceptance, it can be fickle, especially for someone like Naruto who shakes things up. His journey, it's not going to be about getting everyone to pat him on the back. It's about him staying true to himself, forging his own path, even if people in his own village push back.
So, maybe no parade for Naruto, but hey, at least he brought Sasuke back safe, right?
Sasuke being alive, that adds another layer to their whole dynamic too. Haku spared him, remember? Maybe he saw a bit of himself in Sasuke, that lost innocence. Even in the middle of a brutal fight, there's this flicker of empathy, of seeing the human side of your enemy.
It's like even the villains have reasons for what they do. Makes you think.
Definitely. And when you look at Naruto and Sasuke, you see these two contrasting paths. Naruto's all about his feelings, his connections, protecting the people he cares about. Sasuke's still wrestling with his past, and that desire for revenge could eat him alive.
Their journeys are so different, but it's like they're two sides of the same coin.
Right.
They both have this potential for good and bad. It's all about choices.
Exactly. And as they grow up, you can't help but wonder, will they find some middle ground, or will those differences pull them apart?
That tension, that's what makes their relationship so interesting. It's going to be a wild ride watching them figure things out.
It is. And these early chapters, they really lay the groundwork. It's not just about ninjas and awesome fights. It's about these big, complex themes, exploring what it means to be human, power, purpose, what true strength really is. It's all in there.
No kidding. Naruto's way more than just a shonen manga, that's for sure.
And that's why it connects with people, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. Everyone's felt that need to belong, to find their place in the world. The power of friendship, standing up for what you believe in, it's universal.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into early Naruto, what's the big takeaway for everyone listening?
I'd say this. Being a ninja, it's like life. There's no straight path. You hit roadblocks, you doubt yourself. You have those moments where you win even when you don't expect it. But it's going through all that you figure out who you are, what you stand for, and the impact you have on the world.
It's like one step at a time.
Yeah.
Right. You learn and you grow along the way.
Yeah, and Naruto, he's the perfect example. This goofy, ramen-loving kid, he shows us that anyone can do amazing things, shake things up, make a difference, even if you don't fit in, even if people doubt you.
And hey, never give up on your dreams, right? Even if those dreams involve becoming Hokage.
That's right. The world needs more heroes, and those heroes, they might just be wearing orange jumpsuits and have whiskers on their faces. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Naruto. Until next time.